Like, it's by committee, and that it's cool for like the purposes, but it's not like it's gonna count towards like my winning or losing overall. Like,
Oh,
can't
sure,
even
sure. I just
imagine.
meant you're putting up with us, so I think you should get to decide what you feel like doing.
No, we could do something else. We could do a non-boarding run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for like stealth C or something.
Yeah, I
Again,
don't have much
NGC
interest in
still
this
still a
run anymore.
possibility. Just throwing that out there. It is a ship that does exist.
What is?
GC at the end.
Oh, I missed it.
Go to the hangar. And
Yes.
do stealth C.
Sure.
Sure.
This is kind of talking about engagement and stuff earlier. I find myself playing runs and getting to this point and being like, meh, I'll continue later. And then the next time I start up FTL, it's like, do I really want to continue this? And end up playing a new run.
Classic. Stealth Cena. All right.
We'd kind of talked about this one prior to, just as like being an interesting gunship to play.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, it also like I said that like that run with the we could have easily just bought the upgrades and like sell all the augments and yeah, it's just went.
Imagine counting streaks where you just get the stuff and piss off. Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting them for streaks, but that's pretty much how I've played a lot of my runs for a long time now. Not that that's what I want to do forever necessarily, but I kind of like it. It's interesting. I can learn more.
What's really great is this going to be like, oh, Crow had a 4.5 hour Mantis Sea run. That's going to be interesting. That's like kind of normal, I guess. Like a normal run for him. And no.
That will come up here, I would imagine. But do you want to explain the shield drone, Crow, or?
Oh, so when we get to deploy it, it's probably just to get heavy lasers. So this little doohickey, the shield barrier, as it puts a shield around, once it puts on one layer, it gets slower. And then when you have 2 pips, it gets slower. It gets progressively slower and slower because it would be way too good otherwise.
8, 10, 13, 16, and 20.
Right. So the big thing is the first shield will like stop a heavy laser shot, like it'll be just in time, but it will remember that it's on the slower loop, right? Like once it starts the slower loop, it goes, oh wait, the shield's not there anymore. I go back down to 0 shield speed or 0 pip speed. It stays at 1, which is too slow to catch up with heavy lasers again. So once the Zoltan shield pip gets taken down, you toggle the drone on and off for just like a frame, as fast as you can, and that will tell the drone to reset it back to a 0 pip cycle.
The other type of micro that I covered in that was you can time the drone for some combinations of weapons. For example, if they have an ion blast and elito or something like that, then you can potentially block the missile instead of the ion blast.
Do we go to a Nebula ion store? What are the outcomes?
Should we talk a bit about this ship? Its strengths and weaknesses. For example, it starts with 2 amazing weapons.
Yeah, so the strength of this, so we start with 2 incredibly ruthlessly efficient weapons, and it is possible to just like get like a flak and hacking and your offense is set. Like, and you're just done. So like that's really great. You have a clone bay, which is, I guess, nice. Some crew diversity. But the problem is you don't have shields and you don't have cloaking. And you want to have both of them, and they're both incredibly expensive. They're like the 2 most expensive purchases in the game. So,
well, and also just starting with neither of them means you are really very vulnerable compared to most ships.
Yeah, it is it's fair to consider this probably bring up the least defended ship in the game, like in terms of cloaking and shields not being there. This drone does not make up for a shield bubble.
Yep.
Like, it just doesn't. And it absolutely doesn't make up for cloaking either. And the fact, like, you don't even have those systems to build into, like Zoltan B, yeah, it doesn't have has the shield system, it's just broken. Like, that would be, like, this just had like a broken stealth system, a broken shield system would be a completely different ship.
If you make it past the second fight, Stealth B is a win. I can't tell if you're joking there, TikTok. But it's certainly not.
And
On this ship, there are 3 different paths of upgrades that I see. Upgrade weapons, get a drone buffer, or save it all for shields. How do you normally play it?
Toba, welcome to the Murder Most Foul. Thank you for the support. I am a weapon buffer. I do the weapon buffer to try, and it's essentially protecting your, like, the best thing that you have on this ship. Offensively, defensively, because, like, your weapons to try and take out the enemies as fast as possible is, I think, the best strategy in terms of overall survival. You know, occasionally you'll miss, like, stray shots, or you have to go up against Zoltan shields. Those are really disgusting fights, and keeping your weapons firing is, I've found, to be safer than trying to hoard up scrap for shields. I still ship C in everyone's bottom 5. I would put it in bottom 5. Like, I like the ship. I think it's a really interesting ship. I think there are some really cool choices when you get to a store, but it starts so far behind scrap-wise and system-wise.
I don't mind the
I'll
drone
just echo
buffer.
what Bro said, that I take the weapons buffer. I rarely take the drones buffer. I will do it in certain situations where I feel I'm in particular danger.
Yeah.
While the
basically
weapons
what I
buffer
was gonna
allows you
say.
to run both drones at once, and it gives you some system protection. I think the weapons buffer, sorry, the drones buffer, the weapons buffer does so much more for safety more consistently, and I don't want to spend all of the scrap on protection while we need a lot of scrap for saving for stores.
Right. For me, it's like, it's not an automatic second upgrade, right? Like, it's no way even close to that. But like, shield or weapons buffer is 100% first play. Maybe not 100%, but like really close to it, right?
Yeah, I think it's, for all intents and purposes, it's 100%.
100%, yeah.
I think the
But like,
if you got stuck, if, like, you got forced into Rebels 2, and again, you're just that, like, fear of all the drones, and you're like, all right, I really need the shield and anti-drone running at the same time, and maybe I have enough money. I could see
that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, like, there's, like,
Yeah,
that kind of, like,
example.
niche example of going into that buffer. I've had, like, really strong early sectors where I was like, but the stores were really bad, and I just was like, all right, I'll give myself, like, another defensive option. I don't know, perhaps it could be argued that it would be just better to just get another buffer point in weapons.
It's maybe kind of similar to how I don't generally want to buy a weapons buffer on Stealth B.
Right.
But let's say I see a forced asteroid field, it's like, and I have cloaking level 3 and I don't have any shields, and that's it, you know. And if my scrap is good, and if maybe I have a map and I know where the stores are and so on, then maybe you buy the weapons buffer to not die in the asteroid field, for example.
Oddly enough, chat, NGB is actually in my top half of win rates. I actually won a 19 win streak with a NGB. Good. All right. So also we put the crew in this position because you don't want this crew to get mind controlled. And these are the 2 rooms you have to protect. These are the 2 rooms that if they get hit, you need to fix things, and the rock is slow. So putting the rock here means that they don't have far to go to get things actually repaired.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. Masala tends to be like a lot of people have the same top 5 and bottom 5 ships.
Oh, we're just fighting it.
This is nice.
I was just wondering if this is a fight where you delay the shield run because of mini beam piercing, but I don't think so.
Okay, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and then try and do the
We
split
can have
swipe.
the fun stuff.
That was pretty good.
Yep, not getting hit in the weapons. Pretty good. Done 3 damage to their shield.
Potential Zoltan shield piercing.
Good dodge. You put Crystal A. So like I think NGC and Lanny B are in class of their own, and then there are a like S tier, and then there's a huge amount of like A tier ships. You have your Slug A's, your Stealth A's, Crystal A, Lanius A. Like Lanius A is not that far off from what Slug C is. Stealth A is potentially up there as well. Out of compiled win rates, probably needs to be updated. NGC, Lanny B, Stealth A. Crystal A is 4th in overall win rate and at 136-9. Pretty bonkers. And then Rock C is also like not that dissimilar to Crystal A. So like I said, there's like and you have Zoltan A. There's actually like I think a wider range of ships you can put up there, maybe even Mantis A.
What are you
And
going
guess
to do
that
with
you're
your
waiting with the
weapons
charge
at this
laser
point?
until the mini beam has taken down the shields, right?
That's gonna try to be the idea. Is we start the mini beam, and because I think they're at 2, and just put the tip into here, and then fire our charge laser at their weapons, and hope to just take them offline.
Let's see. What is the
Calculate.
best result here?
I mean, tick from the mini beam, the charge laser hitting both shields and getting a weapon down on the end of the swipe.
Well, or ideally, does it? It'll proc. So the beam will actually drop the Sultan shield just before it gets to weapons, and then once it enters the weapons room, it hits. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Right, that's really tight timing too.
Yeah, and then still firing 2 shots. So it still gives me a little bit of wiggle room in how that happens, while giving me the best chance of like damaging their weapons.
There is a timing here. I'm getting pretty tired now, so I'm not remembering all the things. But there is a timing here where, if everything goes right, you take out their Zoltan shield with the mini beam, and I think you should be able to get 2 damage into weapons. If it's timed right, but it's not guaranteed.
Nope, I didn't do it right.
It's close. Those windows are so tight, man.
Yeah, the timing you use that depends on whether you're stealth A or stealth C to some extent.
Oh yeah, because
right.
this fire's a little bit slower.
And whether, well, how many Zoltan shield points they have remaining. If anyone wants to look it up, I have a video on this called Zoltan Shield Piercing. And this is part 2, this one.
have to fix O2 here.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I was a little bit short-sighted there. I should have swiped through shields. I was thinking I hit engines to lower evasion, make it shot hit. I put NGC above landing B now. Yeah. Sky used to think that the stealth A. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it's not like like you're just running the ship. You know, that's it. It's all. It's like a fun topic of conversation, but it has like no actual bearing on the game itself. Because you're just trying to win. Like, oh well, this ship is worse than another ship that I run, or it's better. Well, that doesn't impact the run at all.
Yeah, I don't have any clear opinions about ship rankings apart from very, very obvious ones.
And then there's like
and it just doesn't matter to me. It's not useful information. Plus, it'd be really, really hard to determine in any objective way.
I mean, right, yeah. I think there are some ships where you can just be like, all right, well, this ship has like the exact same weapons, but it has this other better stuff. Okay, like that makes it quote unquote better.
Yeah, so for example, I'd be pretty confident that Kestrel A is a better ship than Federation A.
Yeah.
Because you can make the comparison, and while there are a number of things that are different, just having the Artemis is so much better than Crew plus artillery beam.
Having the Artemis and having the already upgraded weapon. It's like, all right, here's just what, 25 scrap? Yeah, here's an additional 25 scrap of value on your ship.
You have 2 weapons buffers. As opposed to none.
Do you prefer distress or ship fights?
Oh, on this one, what have we got?
I've never made a tier list, by the way.
Beam.
What about tier list, Farb?
Oh, I just said I've never made a tier list, by the way.
Based for. See the weapon tier list and everyone cries. What? I mean, yeah, we have Clone Bay options and we have beam options. Do I have a distress option? Is the infected in here?
Oh, you know what? I don't.
Ask me what I think.
I don't know.
That feels kind of okay. Oh yeah, we've got the rock.
Yeah.
And even the slug.
So we have, for civilian sectors, we have small research station, which we have the rock for. We have giant alien spiders, plasma storm, incapacitated ships, which this isn't, refugee ship with communications down, single life form on a moon. Most of that's just getting.
The conclusion I came to was that distress beacons are well worth visiting, but fights are generally better. But they're decent. The other consideration is routing. And another consideration is how early you are in the run in terms of not having the weapons buffer, so distress is more likely to be a non-fight scrap reward.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thinking is, and then once we get it...
Fight lets you head towards the plasma storm if you want to. So there's a few factors.
Right, what are the plasma storms? So it's just manual search, the drone, and the boarding event?
It's It's not a ship detected. So yeah, is it manually search? There's a but this it's not like Stealth B where you can just skip any of the fights in non-ship detected plasma storms because you don't have cloaking. What's the ship like?
Auto scout border ships, and those are the three though. Those scout borders. Yeah, maybe I should have gone like started from there.
The borders is free scrap as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, this also lets me see stores early aren't super important, but
Kind of interesting to think how much it might be worth sometimes pursuing early distresses if your ship is decent for it as a way of getting scrap at low risk.
Yep.
well, we got a pirate rigger. If it doesn't have any offensive drones, we're fine here.
Do we ever hire the mercenaries here?
To delay the rebels for 13 scrap. If I saw 2 heavy lasers, I'd really think about it. This ship. So the last time I lost on this ship, I did give up a crew to like Zoltan Shield Burst Laser Small Bomb, like Burst Laser 2 Small Bomb, because like I didn't think I could survive the fight. Like it just seemed really unlikely. I think that was the fight. It might have been something like even worse.
That sounds familiar.
I just remember that I did it, and then like inevitably I lost in Sector 4 to that absolutely disgusting pirate fight.
Oh god, that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. This could be a real easy death. That's also true. Like I said, if it has an offensive drone, it's bad. We could just skip it as well.
I mean, if we skip this fight, do we expect to get more than 13 scrap from 2 beacons? I'd say yes. So it's better to take one than skip it completely.
Here am I think I just value like delaying, like that has more potential value in the sector, but I feel like spending 13 scrap just puts me that further behind in getting that weapons buffer. It's the thing I have at a premium.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
it a higher variance play to spend the 13 scrap in the hope of more in return? Like if you end up with those beacons being empty, is that a higher variance play?
Dude, it's funny, Marcel. Like
Or both of them?
I try to win all the runs. Like even if it's early and like it's my first ship back into streak, I don't like trying to shift my philosophy to being like, well, I can take risks on this one that I wouldn't normally take. I want to like approach every single run exactly the same and continuously to maintaining like the best decisions. And another thing that I feel that helps me with is it keeps me in the games more so that I have a better sense of where I am in other runs, where like if I'm, even though it's only one run, like if I'm changing up like my perspective and my viewpoints on how I play, I feel it would skew my ability to see where I am in a run and judge it like what I need to do. Playing as if you're always on a streak.
I don't
The other
know the exact
consideration
numbers, but I
with-
think you can expect like 10 to 12 scrap per beacon in Sector 1 on average. But this is kind of like the scrap recovery arm discussion.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
mean,
tricky because a lot of these things are almost always things you don't take, and so it's so easy to just auto ignore them. Something else I would consider at this point would be paying 13 scrap now. in the hope of getting more later, does that put us further away from safety? Because we're likely, in order to benefit from that scrap, we'll have to fight enemy
Nizar.
ship. See you, Nizar. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Later.
we touched on that a little bit. Thomas kind of proposed that, and Barb and I were of the mindset that I don't like pushing off the safety to get an extra
And
jump.
the way that I look at it here too is like, I realize on the high side, you go down to 1 scrap, you can be 2 fights away from, or like 2 scrap rewards away, I think is the better way to say that, of getting to that weapons buffer again. But on the other side of that, if you low roll 3 times and you get bottom scrap, you're only getting 21 scrap in 3 jumps. So you are also potentially 4 scrap rewards away. And that's like such a large majority of the sector here, right? And it's just like, for me, I want to stay closer right now as soon as possible, because next scrap reward, we could have that weapons buffer here too.
We're
Right?
currently between 1 and 2 fights away from, because we care about
Exactly.
fights in a sense. We care
Right.
about how many ships we have to fight.
Right.
We're between 1 and 2 fights away from affording a weapons buffer, assuming no hazards, so we can upgrade. If we take this, then how does that change? We're potentially 3 fights away.
Right.
Yeah, it should be 2 or 3 instead of 1 and 2.
Yeah, and it could most likely it would be 2.
Well,
But it's not going to be 1 unless we get some crazy reward.
I think it's really, really close, and it sort of depends, Masala, because yeah, it's an 8-second for the first cycle, and their weapon is going to probably fire, 9 seconds, but this is manned, so...
Well, the answer to that question is yes, it can. But only if your drone fires really quickly. So you have a window, because the shield drone is 8 seconds, the heavy laser is 8.1, and it has a travel time minimum to the shield layer of about 1.1 seconds.
And then there's also...
So you've got about a second to use the anti-drone and see if it hits the enemy drone. If it does hit the enemy drone, then it will at least be stunned for 5 seconds. And it may explode.
So then there's actually still a possibility that you hit the drone, it doesn't explode, and then it takes down the shield? Oh,
Yes.
Right.
Still hits.
It can still take down the shield, potentially, at the wrong time.
Let's say that we don't care about their drone. We deploy the shield plus, counting that it will negate the heavy laser shot. What's the
that's another
risk that
tactic
our
you could
weapons
use,
get
yeah.
taken down?
Oh,
You
then
can delay it slightly.
Trigger's always 3 crew? Yeah.
Of course, the drone can potentially stop you using your shield drone as well.
So I see it in this fight. If we get 1 volley off, we're completely safe. Then the question is, how big is the risk of not getting that 1 volley off at the start?
Yeah, and that could happen either because the drone snipes your weapons, or because your volley misses.
The volley missing feels very unlikely, like less than 5%. But yeah, it's tricky. I'm
Yeah, I
not
suppose if you
opposed to
land
skipping
one of
this
your
fight.
2 shots, then you definitely disable the heavy laser, assuming your weapons are online. you don't necessarily disable the drone. But you could then swap to the anti-drone.
Yeah, well, there's crazy things you can do with save reset, because didn't Chewbacca hit like 80 or something? What did 160?
Something crazy.
I can't remember now. I think it was something like 160.
Yeah, so Chewbacca hit broke like 160 win streak using like save reload strategies.
If you do use them thoroughly, then at least if descriptions of them are correct, and I assume they are, it is completely game breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, infinite shields, infinite FTL charging. Alright, so we could roll this as no surfaces, go to the nebula, take our chances with whatever is there. Keep playing as normal, I guess. Seems to be sort of what we're leaning towards, because of this is...
I think if I had the weapons buffer already, I might take this fight.
I think I
Same.
would too.
I think I would actually, but it's quite close to being okay, but I think it's not okay.
Yeah. I like to skip here.
Same.
Good result. Borders brought a weapons buffer with them.
It's
How
nice.
thoughtful.
I like the distress there. Couldn't we taken that and this nebula? Because this ship is good at distresses, comparatively, at least.
I mean, we did take the other distress for that reason. I don't know. I think it
I didn't
technically
really
is
think
still
about it.
available about it.
Yeah, I think it might still be available, but I didn't see what the routing was like out of it.
Same, yeah.
Let's get through your ship so quickly.
They do.
Please die.
Oh, for the really min-maxy stuff, I think there is an option to use the Mantis B fire safety strat on your doors, so that enemies never come into the door system.
Oh.
I tried it a bit though, and it feels super awkward, and I don't think I like it.
It's a lot of work to maintain that. I was messing around with it for a bunch
Yeah,
of
and the
different things.
oxygen levels during the fight seem to be quite bad.
Right.
I don't know, maybe I was just not doing it seriously enough, I'm not sure.
Well, you also run into like
you weren't doing
you,
FTL seriously enough?
you can run into the thing where you just like your max level O2 is like 75%, right? It gets really weird. But I guess for me, I don't know if I would sit there and do it on like stealth C every jump. But I can remember doing it on Fed A when I knew I was likely to get boarded on a dive or something, and I wanted them to not go into piloting, right?
Stress call. It's a small
Oh, that's
research
neat.
station. Appears a small laboratory fire got out of small control and is threatening to destroy the small station. Their small fire suppression system is not responding. Rock, that's right.
Is our rock crew small too?
No far. Does it say small? No. 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 23 scrap in reverse. Leave, it's too dangerous.
It's kind of interesting, actually. Could keep the mini beam online sometimes.
Yeah.
So does
I
that
do like reverse ion field.
the reverse ion field should proc on the shield charger, right? This is gross.
Yes. What are the bugs with this? There's 2 bugs I think related to this.
If you don't have a shield up and the ion goes through, like gets a resist on Zoltan shields, and you don't have a normal shield up, it will go through and still hit a system.
Yeah, I was thinking of that one. I was trying to remember if that applies if you don't have a shield system at all.
Oh, that I don't know. The times that happened to me were on like Zoltan B or C.
Yeah, same. And the
After
other one
shields,
is
I guess.
that
Yeah.
pulsars will ignore your Zoltan shield if you don't have a shield system.
I don't know if I knew that one.
So Stealth C starting system setup. The pulsar doesn't take down your Zoltan shield, but it does randomly ionize 2 systems as normal. Thanks for joining us, Rakagak.
Later, man.
Glad you could make it.
Yeah.
Take care, Rakagak. Thanks for the contributions in chat.
And as Masano is saying, yeah, sometimes a pulsar can be so bad, and reverse ion field is pretty nice for that. Reverse ion field in a pulsar either works completely or not at all, meaning you resist all of the pulse or none of it. So either 2 systems or 0 systems get ionized.
We still just keep taking fights, though, right? It is scrap. We do need scrap. We need so much scrap.
Yeah,
I think so too. We can see most of the sectors easily.
And again, like the buffer point where it's like, okay, we.
Well, now we're glad we have a buffer point.
Yep.
Okay. Whatever. Flavors.
Well, no offensive drone is great here.
I'm a fan.
And that's always a Alito, right? Because of the
Yeah.
Yes.
drones.
So this buffer means they just cannot take our weapons offline here. I mean, at least not on the first volley. Something strange has to happen.
Right.
We just keep missing. No, they keep missing. It's fine.
We're still safe.
The timing of the shield drone there, the Crow reset it, mattered.
Airbot. Likely so it could kill.
Yeah, they're dead.
Hooray! One in scrap. A little bit of oxygen coming back up. Hooper's free stun bomb and the run's gonna pop off. I mean, any 1 power weapon would just be fantastic.
Feel like this run has already been popping off. The
Carl, all I heard
roads have
there
been quite insane.
well, stun bomb is good.
So,
Yeah, what
Do we
85
ever want to
scrap
skip the
at this point?
leftmost ship detected here just to see all beacons?
probably. I mean, we're sitting at 60 scrap with another what? With tons of sellables. We could definitely push for a store. Get our shield system up.
I don't know exactly how many jumps we have.
6 to 7.
Oh, then I think we can take both ship detected, right?
If we go 1, 2, 3, like this is the store, then we stuck on not being able to get that store there. But if this is the store, then we'd be missing out on it. It's like probably shows us the most beacons remaining. Missing just these two. In terms of scouting, pick this up, and then this one, 1, 2, 3. I think we're missing out on these two. I guess it's probably about the same.
I like taking both ship detected here.
Yeah.
It's a good fight.
We've seen worse.
I mean, it could like potentially suck, right? But
Yeah.
it's a pretty favorable fight.
I was thinking about, was it even necessary to have the shield drone online here? But most it's 2 damage.
The problem with 2 damage is 2 damage to weapons and starting fires, and it's out of control. Like, I guess, so what you're saying though is because the beam weapon is definitely going to hit. Does 1 and 1.
It is interesting.
I definitely
Yeah,
didn't
at some
consider it.
point the drone part is worth more than the damage.
It's pretty good.
I mean, this run,
Good stuff.
this is a lull carried moment.
While I'm pushing, putting clips in chat, I'll put that one there too.
Like, it's definitely not a bad decision to upgrade weapons now. I don't think we do it, but it's an option.
Okay, well, weapon upgrade is 35. It's 35. We have. Scrap do we have? E3.
I'd still rather save for shields. I think that has a lot of bigger impact on the run. Because
Yeah, I would agree
we
with
should
that.
not be afraid of any fight in this sector anymore.
Okay,
I'm on board.
so we have 83 scrap currently, plus 35 for the drone's 35, right? The shield drone is
The
35.
shield drone is 30 to sell.
30.
Yeah, it's 30
okay.
and 17.
83 plus 30 plus 17 plus 22 for the ion. Does put us at 152.
Oh yeah, we got the.
Yeah.
We got the
So if we
iron
did,
shield, I forgot.
if we did upgrade to 35 minus 30,
This is one of those interesting spots
it would
where
drop
you...
us to 117 scrap.
where you can think about, like, how much do you change your play when you have a new option that you don't normally have?
Right.
So you could argue it one way round to say, if I upgrade weapons, I'm a lot safer, and maybe some horrendous fight could happen that would save me.
Right.
You could also look at all of your experience of playing the ship, and say, well, how realistic is that, and how much does it potentially affect stores? So I feel pretty safe with the weapons buffer, but I could also see upgrading being a good decision.
You know what? I just didn't consider. Sala says we could sell the mini beam now, which we can't sell it now. You can't throw it away. But I mean, we could slide it. But we could just actually shift over to double charge lasers if it is a ship fight where we have to dunk a specific room more so.
Yeah, actually, that could be a good tactic.
Yeah, that's true, Burrito. As you know, this is my weak side of FTL nowadays. What can punish us in this situation?
I think it's really hard
24
to
hull, a
strike the
buffer
balance.
point. We have potentially 4 lasers at single time already.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't this ship.
Really is a case to not waste a drone part here.
Yeah, I like not putting the drone up. They're gonna run.
For your help there, Barb. For the clips and that, and yeah. Hey, Monty, how's it going?
I do my best.
Is that
you
Brent
know?
again? I was just saying, waffling truck and everybody else. Thanks everybody for coming out, listening to 4 people talk about an FTL run. That's a store. 1,
That's-
2.
It's pretty cool. It's
5.
been a lot of fun.
Guess we can count dashes. 1, 5, 6, 2. Ooh. I don't know if it's a full 5. Oh, we can do 4 this way.
You can do 4, right?
Yeah, 4's easy. Problem. Short time.
Yay!
Shields.
Yeah, that thing's just shelf for shields, apparently. Sell for
See
shields,
shields by shields.
pretty much.
So what gets sold?
Yeah, that's the fun stuff. The repair arm hype. Oh, wow, I gotta say, thank to the stun bomb talk and the fire beam. Like everyone's been really on point. Like exactly hitting my expectations. So congratulations, I suppose.
I kind of like keeping the shield drone because it works like a defense drone if you time it at the right time.
I also generally like holding on to this more so than any of the other like things that we start with, because it is like a shields 2, which
Oh, maybe we don't have enough scrap.
113.
I got 22 and 7 with the reverse ion field and the
Oh,
anti-drone.
It's 22. Yeah.
I mean, we could sell scanners for it too.
Yeah. What do people think I sell in this store?
Scanners, ion field.
Yeah, I do.
Makes the most sense to me.
Both of the drones have significant tactical uses. Of the 2 things that Crow just sold, I'm actually kind of saddest about losing the reverse ion. I'm not trying to shit on scanners, but I just
A little
heavily
bit. Yeah, a
prioritize
little.
things that change fights.
I guess we can buy a fuel. Get up to 12.
Perfect.
Oh, even having said all that,
Oh, though,
thinking
actually,
about this ship is that you do have a lot of options in stores and upgrades, and sometimes you might even want to sell more stuff so that you can just get your shields up if you feel you need that soon.
yeah. Well, no, what I didn't realize is we were at 3 scrap, so we could have actually just sold these 2 and then bought second shield. Really wanted to push for it.
Coulda.
Yeah.
Could also still sell them to get the weapon up, but I don't think that's very good.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel needed to me.
Exactly.
No, it's not urgent when we have shields.
Yeah, like I said, now he's
But
double shield.
If you're going into Sector 3 rather than Sector 2, then upgrades are more of an issue.
I think I agree with compiling too, that I sell the shield drone more than the anti-drone. especially being on like one shield for a bit, I feel like the anti-drone can be a little bit more relative, and I'm not like too super concerned about incoming damage or anything
It's screw up
with
though,
my weapons and the buffer.
because I didn't scout the sector before selling long range scanners to see.
Oh yeah.
Misplay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you forgot what was there, Captain. I also like it if you buy long range scanners. It's like, oh, those beacons back there, those are ship fights. Like, how does that even work?
Barbara, I think it counts as a baby misplay.
True.
All right.
Baby rage.
And the next, I guess, we upgrade shields.
Oh, of course. The
or
other thing about
weapons.
when you're choosing between selling a shield drone and an anti-drone is that the shield drone gets you more scrap,
Yeah.
and sometimes
fair.
that's relevant.
I like how we had like fights we had to skip, and then every fight since then's just been like, yeah, no shields.
Like the Mantis fights where we were just like, all right, how are we gonna like abuse the crew micro to get through this? And then it's like, oh, here's three straight shieldless fights in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it on?
I think that's two.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. Looks like it.
So I count dashes, 6 parallel dashes, like connecting beacons is a jump. It's actually slightly less than 6, and that tends to be what I use.
Like
Thanks,
a
Maxine.
madman.
I remember you telling I think you told Dolphin Chemist that I did that, and I don't think he's ever been more disgusted in his entire life.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I was like, what? Are we winning? For this ship, this is. I don't think you could ask for anything better. But it's really close.
Dive for content.
Die for content.
It
No.
looks like two to me, but I would either be using, I would be using the mod, or I would be using a ruler or a sheet of paper or something.
I think it looks good too, just by like my highly
Eyeballing it looks
accurate.
good.
moving my mouse. Wonderful. Look at this. It's
Ooh.
beautiful.
So glad we got this extra fight.
Me too.
Great, is this why we weren't totally invincible?
Yep, that's one of them.
Using your monitor to measure jumps is tool assisted. Can't argue. Yeah, I'm confident it's 2 jumps too.
Black is one of the weapons that can negate our weapons buffer. Or just dunk our shields.
Okay. Yeah, that's less good in a solar flare.
I kind of like using all 3 crew.
All right. Situation.
Yeah, it's tricky.
All right.
It is.
So
I just like the faster repair, and we're not losing too much on the charge time.
just making sure I'm putting my crew in optimal air situations.
Yeah, that's good.
Do we switch
That
the
is a
mini
nice
beam to
bit
the
of
charge
micro.
laser?
What's that?
Oh, for the charge
Do
laser
we
here.
switch the mini beam to the
We could have dunked
charge
weapons.
laser here?
That. A good call.
Yeah. The thing I like about this too is you get repair faster sooner, and you can still pull the slug out to go to piloting when stuff fires out.
I didn't actually power the shields.
I don't know if it matters here. Oh, I guess with the flak maybe. Man, your shields, Crow. Come on, man. Man, your shields.
Yeah, it's true. I could have I powered and got it up on time. I've been there.
Who knows? That's
I
gross.
think you can fire the charge laser. Yeah, in case weapons got hit.
It should take
Good
the
news
flak
is it
down,
should take
right?
down the flak, unless you're
Yeah.
unlucky.
It is Crow we're talking about. Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because
It
they were
did
close
take
to
it down
firing.
for a split second.
Dead. Or is that an NG? Or Zoltan, I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Zoltan, yeah.
That's what happened. Missed it at first.
Right, but this stopped the fire from being awful. Did hit our two
Yeah.
key systems though. This is tradition.
At least FTL is consistent with you, Crow.
That's all right. If you were wondering, like, why Crow stream? We could have done Mike stream or PC stuff aside or Tom's. No, it's because of FTL loves me. FTL and I have a special relationship.
We wanted to use the cursed copy of FTL.
Yep.
I honestly can't complain about this sector. So
It's been pretty good.
It's probably good that I didn't stream, because who knows what version of the FTL we would have played then.
Look at that. Not even close.
no, it's fine. Yes.
Yeah.
Pirate or Uncharted?
Wow, we should have kept scanners for Uncharted. What are you guys doing? Good. No, I was just gonna say actually, it's like such a good sector 1 here, right? We got a free weapon, we got shields up, and we still have both drones. It's so good.
I'm not liking our fuel situation in the nebula.
Yeah, me either.
That's true. I mean, this is 1.5 stores, and this is like 1.5.
I mean, I just want to go to a safe sector, upgrade shields, upgrade weapons, and then we'll steamroll everything in sector 3 most likely.
I like that idea. I like the positivity.
It's not so much for me like what has it done, more of like how can it save my ass when I need it to save my ass.
Yeah, shields buffer.
And like
Yeah,
scanners.
so far the anti-drone has done nothing, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
And like scanners only do certain things
What
for
are you What are you talking about? We haven't seen any other drones. That's what the anti-drone does.
Fair. Good point.
It's a
You're
scare
right.
drone, yeah.
How do we not see that?
Right.
That's why we're here, to learn.
Excuse me, I must deal with the consequences of tea.
It's alright.
200 bits. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you for being here.
Yeah, glad you're enjoying. If you get drone recovery arm, do you keep shield plus? I think it's pretty situational, right? Like a lot of the times, especially in the early game, you're gonna be wanting that scrap to help you buy a system, or you know, maybe get the fourth or the third weapon online. So it's I would say sometimes, but it's like super situational.
Hey,
It's pretty good.
we got a human. Everyone's favorite.
I was gonna praise the slug, but oh man.
Were you betrayed by your fellow slug there? That's a very slug thing to do, though, is it not?
Yeah, I walked into that.
Yeah, we're looking really good here. I don't hate it.
Whatever, but it's probably correct to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you stop yourself from getting closer to the missile cell event, right? But at the same time, it's like
We skip the store and buy a power bar.
Think so? I don't like my fuel situation, and this could be the only store. So I mean, we could still potentially buy the.
Is it one jump to the store? I missed it.
We could farm up
No,
before
it's
it.
two. Yeah, I don't mind taking a jump on the store. I think the
What
earliest
would we
working
want to buy at the store?
The only
Do we have
thing
enough
I'm
for
super
hacking?
interested is just buying fuel because I'm at 7, and this could be the only store in the sector. So, two.
I guess we always take the jump
There's actually just like 7
besides the
sectors.
store.
right. Like you always take one jump before the store here.
Yeah,
Interesting.
But also we do have 47 scrap to sell. So we're not like super far away from hacking either.
yeah. We
Okay, yeah, that's a
take
good point.
another beacon, see what happens, and then decide.
All right.
I'm on the always go to the store here. Like for fuel. Not, I
Already?
mean like one jump and take I don't want to be
So if we didn't have enough for like the hacking thing, I think I would just hit the store now, buy that stuff, and then hope for another store later because we're burning like 2 jumps to find that second store. But yeah, I think it makes sense.
That's
because...
fair, yeah.
There can
I'm just
potentially be some other things you might buy at the store.
Like a scrap arm.
Well, you might trade out for a flak potentially.
True.
All right.
Yeah, I think the store has a lot of upside here.
I guess. We could fire now. But 1 dodge and only bad things happen. Can't flash.
I mean, that's against TOS, dude. We're on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. These. I guess I expect. It is an NG doing NG things. So I left the shield up there, so the shield gets hit to decrease the chances of my weapons being hit.
Yeah, and keeping the weapons how you had it, make sure that the mini beam stays online too if weapons get ionized.
The door. 4. Oh, don't do it like that. That was wrong. That was just... Okay, well. That worked
Never
out.
punished.
Who should go there? I would never. So what they like allowed draw, like adult drawings, and then like too many people ruined it, and so they just banned a bunch of people and then got rid of all the changes, which were generally met with like people being really positive about it.
Some of the decisions they make are like, how out of touch are you?
Oh, I screwed up. That's now.
Oh, true. We
Yeah,
didn't
it
even
was
think
out of
about that.
reach.
Yeah, we all missed that.
All right, so I got to burn a jump.
Good store.
Yeah, I think it's sell the drones by hacking get fuel.
You might mean by sensors for the blue options.
We did sell scanners, so now we don't have the blue options. It's true. So we can just backtrack now, right?
Yeah, we'll
That's
just have to
what this,
backtrack, so I'm missing out on stuff. Crap. It's not good.
But I guess we got hacking out of it. I can't believe none of us didn't think about the next jump.
Yeah, no, I totally.
It's like we must be getting tired or something. You guys think someone might surpass Howl's no pause record? Probably not for a long time.
I mean, okay, so Hollow's the top. Barb and Rakagak would be my next two in terms
I
of
would agree
no
with that.
pause.
Yeah.
And then Britnoth is also in that conversation in terms of like just like consistency, no pause at 90% plus. There are some new players, or I shouldn't say new players, there are other people who are still pursuing it. You have Frank FC and Rand. It's just so tough.
Getting a cycle in a row is so hard. Let alone 4. You know, so yeah.
It's theoretically possible, but there's no one out there that we know of who is likely to do it within like the next year or so.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
like that seems
Hollow managed to do it, of course it's possible for someone else to do it.
right.
Yeah, I agree.
Just need someone very dedicated to the game to play for a few thousand hours.
We could bioswipe this ship to death.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like that suggestion.
I mean, it's probably the right play. Correct play.
Just
We have
probably
21
easy.
drone parts, I would probably hack oxygen instead.
Yeah, I
Not
don't.
that it's the correct option, but
I don't disagree
the
at
easy one.
all. I'm just
The
saying,
correct
like,
play is to almost bioswipe them and then get them low enough on the hull for a potential surrender, and then crew kill them when they don't give you one.
Well, you just achieve that by
Aren't
missing
you?
bioswipes.
Isn't
in
it
the
late for you,
process,
Mike?
so-
Maybe shouldn't you be going to bed? Being killed. Shh.
For me it's not even the 27th anymore, so I should probably leave.
Yeah, it does get
I
late
mean,
for you
no,
guys. Huh?
this is gonna. There's gonna be a VOD. That's enough O2 for you. Oh, I should have let them walk out of the room first.
They're
Baby
still
miss
dead.
play number 2.
Now they're not going to be able to get that fixed because of that bio swipe that we had earlier. That's going to be coming in clutch.
Yeah, Masala, it's strange how long time the community overlooked that strat.
Which one? Bio swipes?
Forcing surrenders.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels kind of obvious when you know about it, but yeah, I never thought about it. And honestly, I'm not sure that I would have been dedicated enough to do it. It's boring.
Yeah, I think I always have like the concern of like ships running away. And it's like, oh, I'm being cute. And then it's like, oh, I'm jumping away now. It's like, oh, I was just surrender, not you running away. That's
Yeah, that's one of the considerations. That means you even if you're trying to play optimally, you shouldn't always do it.
Burrito, it depends on the event. Some events have fixed that they will offer surrender, I think, and some ships will never offer surrender. And for most of them, I think it's a toss of the die when the ship reaches, for example, between 2 and 4 hull life. It will make a roll 50-50. Will it offer surrender or not?
doesn't it also like consider what sector it's in, like increases level damage for running away.
No, it does. It does for both, but they work slightly differently. It does depend on the event. So, for example, some events they'll just. I think Thomas might have said they'll just never surrender. Some events there'll be a programmed surrender that will be something specific, although not many, of course. You know, for example, the Mantis Ship Collector's quest will always surrender a weapon.
Right.
And then other events, it's a chance, but it can vary depending on the event, I believe. So I don't think it's always 50%.
Let's repair.
And then, of course, what you get in so what you get in a random surrender, so to speak, as opposed to like a scripted surrender where it's always a weapon, could vary quite a lot. Particularly whether you get an item.
There
Or
is
most
a mod
rewards.
made by Freera which has all this information. You can see it at the start of the fight, for example, if they will offer surrender or not. I'll link it in the chat.
I am not sure if that mod is completely accurate.
Okay.
Partly, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's wrong because I think it's taking information straight from the code, and the code is actually inverted in its logic. So if it thinks there's a 10% chance of something happening, then I think the actual chance is 90% for surrenders and escapes. Oh, the probability of offering gear in a random surrender. So it should be. Surrenders are almost all the surrenders are stuff rewards, as opposed to the standard rewards that you get from blowing up a ship, for example. And those have a 6% item chance drop compared to 3% in standard rewards.
Badger's missing all the O2 hacks, eh?
I know.
Also, surrenders are normally what? A stuff reward is, instead of being low, medium, or high scrap, is low, medium, or high resources. So normally with a standard scrap reward, you say it's a medium scrap reward, you get that together with low resources. So a low amount of 2 random resources. And then with a stuff reward, you get low, medium, or high resources, but you always get low scrap. Unless you get an item with the 6% roll, in which case the level of the scrap reward is upgraded to the same level as the stuff reward itself. So let's say that you got a high stuff reward which gave you like 6 fuel and 2 drone parts. And you also roll, then that would normally come with low scrap, but if you then roll an item, you will get high scrap as well. So then you're getting you're getting 6 fuel, 2 drone parts, I don't know, a heavy laser, and high scrap.
I guess that is when you kill the ship, because if I remember correctly, for a crew kill, it's a 1 in 9 of getting a weapon and 1 in 9 of getting a drone.
Right.
No, 1 in 9 of getting a crew.
Yeah, those are different awards. So in the code there's something called auto rewards. I think is actually how, but
Still no.
The stuff like the low scrap and the weapon is a more specific reward. So, for example, when you get a crew kill and you get a weapon or you get a free crew, then you're never getting resources with that.
So I think the next upgrade here will be weapons. We're dealing with 2
This is
shielded
covered
ships.
quite well on the wiki rewards page, by the way, if anyone wants to really dig into it.
I agree, Crow, I think.
Yeah, weapons and then a power bomb.
I can sell 3. I feel okay selling
Yeah,
3.
I don't mind selling them here.
I almost don't mind 6, but
I mean, 6 should be fine, right?
drops us to 11. We
won't be needing drone pods for each of the fights.
They're all crew kills if we have drones. Kills all the time.
I think I like 3 here.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's always 3 and worth thinking about 6.
I don't have any reactor, but that's something.
Oh, and by the way, an example of an event that gives stuff rewards directly is giant alien spiders.
Let's leave this alone. I don't have any of the blue options here. Just like low scrapper damage, and I really don't want to take damage.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch this.
Oh, there's the store. Well,
My main reason for just not selling 6 and going with 3 instead is I don't trust FTL at all.
So, yeah.
That's a
That
really
is exactly the reason.
it really is. Like, it's just like, I thought like I go, oh, like statistically speaking, this is what I just like. I had a run that one time. I just had like no drone parts, and it was the worst. TL didn't care that it was being mean, so.
Then I'm saying they don't trust FTL to give scrap either, which is true. The difference for me is that unless I'm in a position where I really need scrap in the short term, then I'm gonna be fine with scrap.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can play my way out of low scrap, no problem.
And
I'm
we're
concerned
really
about store opportunities. I'm concerned about absolutely critical upgrades, but I don't need very much scrap to win.
Yeah, and what I was gonna add is we're in a spot right now that like we don't need a lot of scrap to win as the ship sits right now.
Yeah. So I'd rather take away that possible way that things could start to get less in my control.
Right. And I think it's easy to look at it like, well, I have 11 drone parts, and it's like, yes, then we would still have 11 drone parts, and like, yeah, most likely that's gonna be fine. But we're only in Sector 3, and if we're looking at, that's really nice. If we're looking at it from a standpoint of like, well, how many
So
fights do we have left?
Before you click, bit of sort of technical education here that we were talking about. Can we work out what this reward is? Technically. So I think this is a low stuff reward that rolled an item. Because we've got a low amount of
Resources.
resources, I think, and I think it's still a low amount of scrap. So it must be.
I thought you didn't take that for a second. I was super confused. It's like, wait, what?
I wanted the run to be interesting.
Oh, hello, Dan.
But yeah, what I was saying too is like we have 30 fights left still that we might want to be hacking in like the majority of them. So where you would go down to 11 and like yes, you get more, you still have such a big gap to still cover in the rest of the fights. And like I take the same approach to fuel, right? And it's kind of like when we were talking about not going to the store for fuel. It's like, yeah, we're on 7 and that's kind of an okay number for right now. We still have like 85 jumps to take. Right? So it's like you still are going to need that fuel or the drone parts inevitably. And like, yeah, sure, there's fights we don't need to hack right now, but I would rather keep them than get the scrap, which I know I'm gonna pretty much have eventually anyway, and the ship is in such a good point right now that it just like the extra 12 scrap and losing 3 drone parts, the bigger problem is losing the drone parts.
To put it in perspective, I could easily have talked myself into not even giving away the 3.
Same.
Like, no, I think it's very unlikely I give away 6, but I could even say maybe I don't give away 3.
You learn repairs here.
So, what's up? What I was gonna say is, yeah, me either. What I was gonna say. Oh yeah.
Do 1 repairs.
If I'm at 14 drone parts and I'm going to sell 3 and to get down to 11, I probably don't sell them.
Yeah.
Not that like 11 is a number that I want to keep. It's just like, yeah, but like drone parts. That's all.
And then I was saying only 3 drones is definitely good too. My thinking was rushing to cloaking to secure the run and then buy drone parts after cloaking secured. Yeah, that's totally reasonable. I think for me, where I'd be at this point in a run, is I'm not really pushing that hard to get cloaking right away, even though obviously that'd be very good. I do like being able to hack all the fights.
Same.
And of course, the evaluation could change a lot if you felt that you were really close to being able to afford cloaking in a store, and if you had stores coming up, and if that made the difference. So it's not like it's a fixed amount that I would always want to keep.
Yeah, I don't really have a fixed set when it comes to drone parts either. Besides the fixed set being as much as possible, I guess.
Yeah.
So what do we think about, do we sell the heavy laser to finish up repairs and fuel?
Good question.
I don't know.
I don't think I do.
Me neither. I think we're quite safe as it
I
is.
don't think we're low enough on hull or fuel for it to be forced. And if we don't get another weapon for a while, it would be a pretty good upgrade.
Agreed. And we're 50 scrap away from using it in a pinch too.
Yeah, that missed beacon is like haunting me. It's just like, could have been like any like small amount of fuel or scrap, and
It was nothing, bro.
oh, okay.
The extra jump we
In
would
that-
get is nothing.
You just wanted to make the run less overpowered. That was all.
Yeah.
In other not related news, Farb will host the next run.
I'm down. I'll even play pause. I would say the first replacement is the 2 power charge laser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
it's
maybe
never the
later
mini
you could,
beam because it deals 4 damage most of the
Yeah.
time.
I was gonna say maybe later you can consider going all the lasers, but the mini beam is just so good.
Yeah, like you would transition this into the 2 shots, but deals 4 damage if you need to, and then like you could think about like if you got cloaking, that it's like, all right, like we're gonna hack, and then we're still doing 4 damage with an evasion hack. They probably don't recover from.
Well, one thing if you did go into all the lasers is you can go evasion hacks and do a lot of damage into weapons, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think we do. Oh, hey, this again. Once again, find a small stress call from a small research station. A small laboratory fire got out of small controls, threatened to destroy small responding. Your normally sized raw crew members goes in.
Thanks for clarifying.
So has he
that's
grown
cool.
up from a pebble to a normal sized rock now?
Oh, he's a normal one.
But now we get the blue option for scrap arm.
Mining the asteroids.
No way!
Hey, look, you can't hit the
Everything sounds
shots
so good.
if you don't call them. You know, like that's what that's about.
Holy shit!
I'm glad it was a positive event because otherwise the pause screen would be up again.
It's true. That's true. It's pretty good.
Slugs or Mantis homeworlds?
I don't like slug.
I love slugs.
Well,
Slug 4 is
Let-
pretty good.
let's clarify that. I don't like slug sectors all that much.
I have a
I like them.
feeling that slug sectors are annoying.
Yeah, I mean they're not bad for gunships, I guess, and you do get more jumps and more scrap opportunity though, and you have the 2 stores and all that.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5. It's not bad because you can get just like a dumb amount of coffin ships.
Slug
Just
4
get-
is particularly good for that. You have
That's true.
fewer of the, you don't have the biggest ships in the pool yet,
Yeah. This
and
is,
even the light cruisers and what's the other one? Surveyors.
Yeah.
Um,
Dribratz brings up a good point too, that
not
the
bad.
routing for the upper route is better than the bottom.
yeah, you can choose between forced Alton and forced abandoned.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hey.
Are we
But yeah, I
afraid
agree.
of forced abandoned?
But I
Yeah.
do actually think it's probably slug here. Regardless of what I was saying at first. Just
One
sometimes
slug can be really bad is slightly later sectors
yeah,
on a boarding ship,
just
and
'cause
it's
they have
just
a million
7 crew.
Yeah.
And we can,
Skill room.
like, if there's just nothing immediate, we have like this, even this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And yeah, 2.5 stores. Kind of like. So we're always doing this though, right? Just the level 2.
I think so.
Power as well.
It just it opens up a lot better possibilities, I guess, in how to manage
I need
fights.
reactor. I might need reactor. Might need 1 reactor.
Because now we can shield hack against 3 shields, which is probably a good thing to be able to do in this spot.
They do
And
have
then-
cloaking and
Oh yeah, Dribrat's O2 buffer in slug sectors. It can be a pretty worthwhile upgrade. It does make, if you do get a fight where you can't kill them quickly, it's pretty good to have. If you can kill them quickly, then it doesn't really matter so much. I quite like it, but less so if I've got a lot of pressing needs for my scrap.
yeah, I generally don't get it online. My take is I'll just throw my crew in to the medical and med bay and just heal through any oxygen loss, or I'll just clone them if that was like the issue, like, you know. So if getting that upgrade then can just like make my ship so like I survive those fights, and then it's just like, okay, I just, my crew either dies or I just kite them through the medical unit, that solves it, versus doing the upgrade. It's generally
It's
how I
solved
approach that.
if the fight is okay.
Right.
Less
it's
so
okay.
if it's a bad fight. I don't think it's a great upgrade. Like it's not necessary to just go, oh, I'm a slug sector, I have to do this immediately. I quite like it if I can without setting myself back in other important areas.
I actually kind of like this just because we could be hitting ion storms, and going underpowered in ion storms can be really gross.
I like
Yeah,
the power
I think
here
I
too.
might get another reactor as well, either right away or before jumping
Yeah, I was gonna take 1
Yeah.
jump and for
Nebula.
like, is there anything I get there that changes it if like a store opens up? No. Like I do all the low reactor stuff, but I've been mindful of if going into, you jump into a beacon that wasn't an ion and
And
all right.
suddenly we're in a nebula.
It's magic.
Yes, we're having problems with the oxygen system. Perhaps your crew can assist in repairs. You have a clone bay.
I think the one thing to talk about the extra power bar here is packing weapons and running from a fight. It lets you have more power in your engines throughout the entire process, instead of like putting your shields into engines for a little bit and then only having 1 engine to continue to run on.
Yeah, I think again, it some of it depends on like a sector basis where it's
Yeah, I agree.
Sure. Oh, nice.
That's
Gosh,
pretty
is a
good.
burst ship immediately smell it stale out malfunctioning life support. No time you're able to fix up the problems at home. 39. Okay.
Oh yeah, we have a scrap arm. Forgot. How could I
So
forget?
do we save for 150 and find a store now?
That would be where I'm currently leaning towards.
Same.
Like, and I don't even mind like, and knowing that we're another 60 here, so we're not that far off.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel at all bad to sell both those items if it got you cloaking.
Agreed. It's like as much as you want to keep the heavy too, cloaking's better.
Yeah, it's definitely possible to win with the weapons we have.
Yeah.
A 5 at the store. 1, 2, 3.
Not to mention, it's relatively easy to pick up an offensive drone at some point
True.
before the flagship.
All right, so our medical system is offline.
I'll be back quick again.
It's fine. We're gonna just hack weapons here and keep the fight in front of us.
This is always a high scrap reward, I think.
Oh, even if you don't crew kill?
There's no difference with crew kill,
Oh,
I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, I'm right.
oh, no reason to get fancy then. Oh, okay. Also, apparently I fired before that had 2 shots in it. It's good. I guess we can just go help. That was not the weapon that went offline that I would have preferred. Acceptable. All right. Do you think the crew ever talked here? I don't know.
They knock on the walls.
I mean, they are slugs, right?
Because they are telepaths, aren't they?
I'm back. Masala, what's funny is my last stream that I played FTL and I asked that exact same question.
Here I rust my shots. Piloting down, hopefully it gets there and it's safe. So we've also passed up on like 3 training ships, just FYI.
We did. I was keeping track. Just for you, Crow.
I feel it was more for you.
Maybe.
So just hit stores fuel.
There's a cutie. It's not a great store, huh?
Not
I think
particularly.
we just go to the next store.
I
Oh,
would
this-
be
yeah.
considering the anti-drone.
Yeah.
This one?
But I'd also want to think about what's my scrap for cloaking in the next store.
Alright, well, I'll bust out calculator for that. Outside
We
game
would
tools.
have
Oh,
107
that's
left.
So 85 plus 32 plus 25. We're at 142.
So we are pretty close.
Yeah, and we know the other stores there as well.
Yeah. I like picking up an anti-drone. It gives tactical options in bad fights, but cloaking is a lot better.
So we'd have, it would be
We are-
122 selling the anti-drone. Right, so
We're also
we're,
not gonna see, well, we're unlikely to see ships with
I was gonna
offensive
say that
drones in
too.
this sector.
Yeah, that's what I was really thinking, was just how unlikely it would be to see offensive drones here.
It would only be for later on. Yeah, maybe in this spot I don't actually buy it. With the store coming up soon.
So I think we just take
Hull repair and drone recovery arm, as Thomas said, that does work. The only problem with it is it's a hell of a lot of scrap.
Yeah.
For
me, it's always been one of those win more things, not anything I like actively seek.
yeah, I tend to find that the recovery arm synergy doesn't affect much what I do with a whole repair drone.
Like if there was like a defense drone here, I would take it. Because I just wouldn't want to be like, all right, well maybe there will be a store upcoming that has the cloaking that I want. It's just like defense drone would cover that missile base that I would.
Yeah, I'd agree. The defense drone is sufficiently more of a big improvement in your defense to make it worth it, but maybe the anti-drone isn't here.
Agreed. I think
especially given the sector we're in.
I think another thing to think about too is that, not that it's guaranteed, but we saw on the left side of the map all of the beacons that weren't in the nebula, so there could potentially still be another store floating out there somewhere.
Would you end up spending more on it than the total repairs on the run? Quite possibly, yes.
But I guess with the layout, it's kind of unlikely that we're able to get to it, because it's almost like you wanna maximize these jumps before the guaranteed store you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, because we're pushing for the cloaking.
Right. Exactly.
Whole repair drone is really interesting. It's one of those items that is really strong and yet also often not worth buying or even keeping.
What the fuck?
I would say if you get like all of the pieces for free, it's like, why not, right? Well, obviously, but just like buying.
Yeah.
I could see maybe buying the drone arm, but in a spot like we're in right now, buying the whole repair there is just like, it's not worth it.
It's so much scrap.
Yeah, and then you get into later in the run and you already have everything secured. It's like, well, like, doesn't matter.
And there are a lot of situations where even just getting 32 scrap and buying something else is more useful.
Yeah, just better.
But equally, it can be really good sometimes.
Yeah, it's like definitely not to say it's not useful, or can be good.
I honestly can't remember the last time I've used it. Oh, I should probably wait till my oxygen. There's R2 oxygen hacking events, so wise to get back our O2 up to that. But yeah, you know, why maybe get the O2 upgrade there? We're like, because we can just kill enemy ships. Granted, they've been 2 shielded ships, but we could just like hack their shields if we had to get into a DPS race.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a situation in this sector where we needed the O2 upgrade.
Agreed.
So this is just an evasion hack, right?
I don't think we need to use a hack drone here.
I mean, we could definitely get it. Well, I guess we could see if the volley lands and then swap to a weapon hack.
Then you have enough time.
Yeah.
That can also be a 2-power bomb.
Oh, because it could be firebomb?
Yeah. But yeah, the idea of
Easy.
just rolling it on the first volley, and then we don't need to use the hack, or we hack weapons. Feels plenty safe enough.
I agree.
Like even if the first 3 gets a volley off, it's not like it's the end of the world either.
Look at that, exactly 150.
That's how us pros play. You know, missing jumps earlier on. So do I want the upgrades then? It's 20. So I would say we have like 25 we could potentially spend if we want to.
I think we can take another jump and then see. There are no urgent upgrades here. And we'd rather keep the scrap recovery arm and the weapon.
Take 2 punches. There we go. Could have tried to go 2 kill here just because of how weak the weapons are, but
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I mean, we are in this, like, if we get cloaking here, then trying to win.
I agree.
2. Kill them. No.
Well, Crow, it puts us at 15 missiles. There it is.
Yeah, sensors.
We can do it.
While not technically over, it feels like the run is won now. Just
Yeah.
need to keep upgrading, hacking, cloaking, get the Hull Laser 2 online, get shields. Don't
Yeah, like
expect there to be any real issues.
The not meme play here is to not buy sensors and upgrade cloaking, and then you go down the weapon path, and then it's just, yeah, it's just like, from a certain standpoint, it's really hard to lose the run if you play even like halfway decently.
EG next run. I'm not sure about one more run. Not for me at least.
Yeah, no, I'm probably at my end of my run. Oh.
Yeah, Sam. I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah, we've been at it for 7 hours with
It's been awesome, though.
technical
It's been-
issues beforehand.
It's been a lot of fun.
To be fair, nowadays I usually play Battle Brothers for more than 7 hours straight, but that's another thing.
Right.
Look what your sensors did. The scrap recovery arm has a blue option here, right? Does it? No.
Does, right?
But we needed sensors.
Easy.
Alright, civilian sector. Yeah.
So that's how you win runs in Sector 4 in FTL.
Yeah, that's like another, like, you know, in value talk and, you know, where it's like, oh, like you can invest in this or you can invest in that, like buy a crew or something, where it's just like, or just win in Sector 4 and then the rest just doesn't matter. Like you can just budget and spend your scrap wisely. And again, like I missed a jump. There were probably some other less optimal plays because there's just a lot of crosswinds kind of happening here, which has been great. It's particularly like that early Mantis run, just like showing how much consideration goes into like a fight and all the decisions.
Right.
But yeah, we actually I could bring this up real quick. Yeah, this is the run so far. Like
My eyes.
like Sector 1 was disgusting, and it was like, oh, like we could be like really silly, but again, it's a scrap hungry ship, and then we hit the 89. Again, I missed a jump in that sector. That's like kind of an average, and then but even with the slug thing, yeah, it feels like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll finish it up off stream or something. But that's gonna have to be it for myself and the people joining me. So again, thank you, Farb, Mike, and Thomas for joining me.
Yeah, thanks everyone
That's
in
awesome.
chat for
Thanks.
for hanging
It was
out.
fun.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's the first time like really anybody has done anything like this. It's been a blast. Crow only cried once.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
that's the
like,
under.
It was the under.
I feel like we may do this again.
I'm down, yeah, for sure.
I certainly enjoyed it.
You don't get the opportunity.